Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Kevin Lyons. He's the Monroe County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Now, Kevin, one of the weeds that I think that we hear more and more about here of late is poison hemlock. And it seems like once we talk about it, we get calls because people have seen it somewhere.
Yes, and they may not known exactly what they were looking at and have seen it for a while, but you throw that word poison in there and it gets attention. And but it is very prevalent anymore, particularly along roadsides and things like that. But it gets a lot of attention just because it does have the ability to poison livestock, poison humans. So it's it's just kind of becoming more and more in the front of the news things on weed control. It's definitely one that's gaining in popularity as far as people being interested in it.
Absolutely. And usually, once you have it, talk a little bit about the growth pattern of the poison hemlock.
It's pretty much in our area a biennial. The first year it kind of produces by seed and that seed travel, but the seed will sprout and germinate and they'll form a small rosette that first year. And if you can get it then, that's even better. And then that second year is when it really takes off on the growth and goes into the reproductive phase. So it might get up 3 to 10 feet tall that second year, produces a lot of seed, and that's one of the keys to control is limiting that seed production.
And a lot of times people they don't want to go into chemical control of some of these weeds, but it's probably effective in this particular case because I've had some people that have some sensitivity to poison hemlock, even touching it, and they break out. So mechanically pulling this stuff out, you have to be careful with.
They are there's different preferences for people on how to handle things. Some people are very not anti-chemical, but they want to limit that use if at all possible, and I understand that. They want to use cultural controls, mechanical controls, but there are some options that are chemical based that are a little bit safer than some others. But there's a place for it all. But sometimes if it gets so out of hand, chemical is probably not the only option, but it's probably the most economical, most efficient option.
Especially if we're in that second year. We had some that was brought in last year, and we couldn't even get it in the door. It was so large.
Oh yeah, it's very aggressive. It takes off, and it grows tremendously fast, and it just produces tons and tons of seed, and that is spread so well. They're spread by wildlife. They're spread by the wind. Just different ways that nature does that. But they're one that you'll see in the roadsides lots of times in disturbed areas. They kind of prefer that and take that. Mowing's the same thing. If you can get it mowed, help keep that seed production down. That will help. Spraying will help. So it's kind of not just one size fits all issue.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to go ahead. I have people say, well, my cattle won't eat that, but they might.
They might, and it doesn't take but just a little to get in your pocketbook. And it's something that you want to pay attention to. It's just another thing out there we have to deal with and scout and look. But like we talk about with all our weed control, to get on it early is always the best. We know that's not always possible, but that is certainly a key, is to keep the seed production down because it's got about a 2-year life cycle, and then it has to come back from seed again.
And right now is a good time to control. So if you had some in a particular area last year, go out there, check it out, see if it's there, and there's still time to spray.
Yes, there is. It's a great window, and we have a lot of windy conditions here, and it's oftentimes hard to spray our pastures in the spring. You can spray some of those in the fall, but it's hard to find that time when there's not some wind blowing. But that's if you're in a tight spot and you don't want to just broadcast spray, you can use your hand sprayers off your ATV or UTV, whatever you've got, along those roadsides and fence rows and do some spot spraying. That'll definitely help.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, it's not something that we might get rid of. That seed production's there. It can germinate, so we need to stay on top of it each and every year. And it's got that big white showy, I had somebody call and say that it looked like wild carrot on steroids. It was huge, and so it is easy to tell, but by that point, it's too late to control.
You're just kind of fighting a losing battle at that point.
All right, Kevin. Well, appreciate the information. And if you have questions or need some weeds ID'd, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.